All right, looks like we are live. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel, All That Is. I'm so glad to have you here. Welcome to this episode of the SHAMANKAS, the Trinity alignment of Shekinah Grace, Shekinah Ma, and myself. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing on this Thursday afternoon. So come in, say hello in the chat, and we'll just get going here in a moment. While I get the candle going, I just wanted to welcome everybody in. The chats are open, so say hello.
The thunder is rolling, so
yeah, the thunder is
we're
rolling
getting charged up out here.
So I've just lit the candle, so come on in, take a deep breath, settle yourself in. And if it calls to you, just close your eyes, let everything go that, stood in our way of getting here, just breathing in and out. And bring ourselves into that heart-centered energy as we hone into that chakra today, the heart chakra, calling in those higher self energies, connecting to source of all creation. And just breathing in and out and letting all of the troubles go as we bring our focus into this here and now, into this dimension, into this field of energy as we begin our show today. And as we do that, I would like to welcome Shekinah Ma to lead us in prayer.
Did you light the candle?
I did, yes. Thank you.
Well, then I'm going to be using today this beautiful, you may not be able to see it clearly, which is okay, but just know that this is going to be activating us in our Anahata, in our heart chakra. And Anahata translates as unstruck. And it literally is like the thunderbolt of the God. It is very, very powerful, but nothing really in its own sense can ever truly break the heart. When you've dived into the temple of your heart is actually where you become indestructible and also transcendental. So with that in mind, and that in your heart, and that in your physical body, let us close our eyes and let us see before us this beautiful circle of life. Let us see before us this beautiful circle, this beautiful hoop. They call it the hoop, the sacred hoop of life. And in this beautiful hoop, in this beautiful circle of life, there are 4 points. Starting in the east, in the place of the rising sun, we welcome in the winged ones. We welcome in the angels, the fae, the great eagle and condor. We welcome in the beautiful sphinx energy with that powerful phoenix energy, and in even that, the powerful griffin energy. Griffin is the guardian of the heart. And so I want to see these winged ones coming into our circle, holding guardianship, holding space with us as we welcome in the watchtower of the east, the place of the rising sun, breath of life. Please breathe in through your nose, a big inhalation as you breathe in the codes of the eastern gate. Breathing in the breath of life, the prana, the chi. Letting go, letting out, exhaling all the expired energies. Welcome in Raphael, healer, magician, angel, guide, guardian of the east, with your beautiful staff, with your caduceus. Coming into the place of the south, coming into the place of peaking sun, in the zenith of the sun, in the raising of the cone of power. We see ourselves coming into the southern door, the southern gateway, the place of the dragons and the serpents, the place of the ley lines, the dragon lines, these beautiful meridians, these beautiful grid lines of the Mother Earth. We see it moving like the channels of crystals. We see it moving like these wonderful meridians, just like in our own physical bodies, carrying life force energy, carrying like our nervous system through our nerves, the messages and signals, enlivening, activating, and awakening our hearts into our passion, into our purpose. Welcoming in Michael, Archangel Michael, as the true guide guardian of the South with the sword of righteousness to guide and guard. Shining sword is guiding. We welcome in this place as we welcome in our heart's true flame, place of fire. Purify us and clear away our karmas and our dross. As we now bow to this energy, we awaken and open and invite in the spirits of the West, the place of the setting sun, the place of water, the place of the chalice, the place of the emotion codes, the place of our wombs, the place and creation of life as water is life, as we say, mini wachoni, water is life. And in this place of eternal life and in this immortal realm of water, as it is always moving, growing, changing, and yet carrying all the codes from the beginning of time in the original blueprints, we welcome in the dolphins, the whales, the porpoises, the wonderful, beautiful creatures of the sea and fresh waters. We welcome in the merfolk, the Mermaidian clan, our true emotional and oceanic keepers of divine codes. And we say, hail and welcome to the Watchtower of the West, the place of Magdalene and the Rose Line. Turning our attention and intention to this fourth door quadrant of this hoop of life, sacred medicine wheel, we come to the north. We come to the place of our ancestors and our elders. We come to the place of White Buffalo Calf Woman. We come to the place of the Sasquatch, the unicorn. We come to the place of the gnomes and the elves, the keepers of the earth, the elemental beings that watch over our dear beloved Mother Earth. Through the rocks and the stones and the crystals, which is the power of the earth, we open and activate this northern door, completing this circle, calling in these places of truth and liberation, freedom for all, sovereignty, and the divine destination or destiny for us all. As we all come to the center now and to the cog of this wheel, where it all meets as one in the center of all things. And here in this place, in the heart of the matter, we open our hearts to that place of the transcendental drip and cosmic drop of existence, which is all the homeostasis, all the healing codes, all the abilities, our cities, like little treasures in the treasure chest of our heart chakra. Open through the key of life, this beautiful place to find the treasures within. The gold, the pearls, the emeralds, the rubies, the diamonds, the sapphires of consciousness ignite and enliven within us. Aho mitakiyasin. Welcome, angels and benign benevolence, our spirit guides and allies, to this beautiful circle today. So it is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So beautiful, Shekinah Ma. You always set the pace for our shows here. It's really, really beautiful.
Feel the lightning. It's enlivening us, charging us. This is important with the heart today, hey?
Absolutely, yeah.
Really powerful energy here
Yeah,
today.
yeah. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. I don't know if we have anybody yet, but it looks like we have a few people tuning in. So thank you for being here. And welcome, ladies. Shekinah Grace, Shekinah Ma. Thank you for being here. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good.
All right. So today's show, we've titled it Re-Architecting, Rebirthing Planetary Light Body Merkabah and the Heart Center. So that's pretty much what Shekinah Ma just described, and that, encapsulation of everything that relates to the heart chakra. So just on a basic level and an introduction to what that energy means, I just want to give a blurb to the audience to just get us warmed to this energy of the heart chakra and what it entails. So the color is associated with green, and it is represented by a 12-petaled lotus. And in Sanskrit, it means anahita, which means unhurt, unstuck, or unbeaten. And it is the fourth primary chakra and serves the center, our central column or our central chakra system, for love, for oneness, for others, compassion, empathy, and forgiveness. And this chakra is associated with unconditional love and joy that it brings to us. It is also the source of deep and profound truths that are expressed through our words, through the throat chakra, which is just above that chakra. It is also the connection between the lower and the upper chakra. So it's that midpoint within which we connect those two chakras. But most importantly, it is also our connection to the divine. And it forms that infinity symbol, if you will. And so that heart chakra is where that energy intersects with that energy from above and from below. And so it's that meeting point within the center of our body. And so that circuit is complete within the above and within the energies below. And I've also talked about this zygote spot, which is the physical point, if you will, that we can actually tune into if you just move your fingers down your central column in the heart, between your chest, between your breastplates. You'll find that little sensitive spot, and it's called the zygote area within your heart chakra. And this was introduced to me by Hathor of Egypt during our recent meditation center session. And she introduced this energy to me during that meditation, and it was very, very palpable in how that energy came through. And you can actually feel it, so it's a very physical aspect to your body, and you can somatically engage with that energy. And so the energy of the heart chakra, it says, I love. And it is the energy of acceptance, love, compassion, sincerity. It says, I am grateful. I am at peace. I am in harmony with all around me and with nature. I am present. I am connected to my heart. I am connected to my body. And I allow to feel that tenderness within my heart, and within that compassion, within kindness, within forgiveness. And if you realistically look with those lenses out towards the world, we start to see the polarity within which we are engaging within this reality known as the 3D world, or our present impression or iteration of incarnation upon this earth plane. And so this energy also represents the element of air, and we have gone through the root chakra with this, which is the earth element. We've gone through the sacral chakra, which is water. We've gone through the solar plexus, which is fire. And so now we've landed on the earth element. And as we progress through these channels, we'll keep expanding and exploring into those higher elements and into those higher chakras within our body. Yeah, that's sort of a little introduction that I wanted to give you guys. But Shekinah Grace, Shekinah Ma, the floor is yours if you want to take it from there.
Well, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Something I've been meditating on today is how the breath of life, that more intimate connection with the eternal breath, is what allows us to actually feel the heart and connect with the heart, it's because the lungs cushion the heart muscle. And so without breath connection, without awareness that you are breathing in your daily life from moment to moment, that you're connected to this like eternal life force, this eternal Holy Spirit, and there isn't that connection to life, the possibility of the heart chakra coming online as an inner stargate or portal to time travel, to have omniscient awareness, to see into past and future timelines, to travel throughout the cosmos and the universe, to experience love, to experience Heros Gamos, divine union within your own heart, to ignite the flame and to feel the divine spark, which we think of what creates a spark. Well, there's wind or air that is needed to, create the spark and the flame. And so I've just been meditating on that connection to, we could call it the air element, but I prefer to call it like prana, that life force. They're different to me. They're made of different substance, different geometry, different chemistry. And how essential that is if one feels either not connected to their heart or unable to access that unconditional love experience. How essential it is to even to connect with your breath and to be aware of that in your daily life. And it like stokes the flame. It's like one of those billowy things that starts a fire in a fireplace. It's like this is a necessary connection for stoking the heart flame and that unity consciousness and that witness observer state. So I think of the heart is also being like an eye, just like our third eye, and so, cultivating and practicing witness or observer of the emotional realm, which was more in the lower chakras, and especially the solar plexus, which is just beneath that, is what allows us to have that steady heart flame going in the heart that is like a steady candle, and there's just the perfect ratio of elements supporting that 0 point field from which you can see in all directions and travel in all directions from. So that's the piece I'll bring forward at this time. And we can.
Yeah, thank you. Shekinah Grace. Oh, Shekinah Ma, sorry.
Well, when we look at the discoveries being made through science and I'll specifically connect to the Heart Math Institute and this Global Coherence Project, and also the discoveries and findings of various different people, one being like Greg Braden, whom I'm sure lots of people are familiar with, in regards to the crystal oscillator of the heart, which is actually a brain, which actually has more components to it than like our brain. And they have all these sensory neurites, they're called, which are like these brain, say, cells, but they're heart cells that are all like kind of the driver operator of this whole physical body, if you will, based on the programming of the heart and in the environmental conditions of what's, nature nurture. So we have like, as we're conceived in the mother's womb by the father, and then we have these energetic essences that connect during conception, and then of course gestation, so our heart is like completely encoded by all these energetic factors that create the human being from the very points of conception, but then also carrying all the emotion code from all the ancestors, as the heart, they say, is one of the very first things to develop through the process of conception and gestation. And so the heart is like the fundamental, in my opinion, organ within the body that is kind of the generator, operator, destroyer of its own within the body. So it's like a God force intelligence that has And by the way, the rains are just pouring down out there. So that's just so awesome right now. It's like the world is getting hydrated. Um, and so I just want to say on top of that, that there's this place where then the heart has this great power, which again is this crystal oscillating brain / technology connecting to the earth, which has its own heartbeat. We call it the Schumann resonance, which is connected to the sun. And the Egyptians laid this out through the hieroglyphs, that the sun was the same connection to the heart as the same connection to gold and God or creator. And that within this heart, enter the kingdom of heaven, it is within you. And so within the heart is this whole connection where you're basically dead consciously until the heart is open and activated. And when the heart, in fact, dies, the body dies, right? So the heart, to me, and to like science and into the spiritual realms, truly is the treasure, the jewel in the lotus. And this is the treasure chest, our chest. And to me, what I see is that the pirates took the treasure of the chest and then like hid it away, right? And like stolen treasure, okay? And then lock and key, okay? And created the traumatic conditions to where we shut down the heart's power. And so today, in this time that we're so blessed to be a part of, the heart is actually breaking open. The heart, because of the sun, electromagnetically, is just whoa, 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 whoa. It's opening up, just like the Earth Mother's heart is like whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, it's supposed to be 7.83, but it's like getting way off the charts. It's like going way off the charts. Hence, we have the ring of fire activating. Hence, we have these powerful, powerful earthquakes, volcanoes igniting, floods igniting. It's like the Earth Mother's heart is just like boom. So everybody's heart's also like boom. And then the pirates took a little jabberoonie and then messed up everybody's heart through the blood clotting, etc. So not to go down that rabbit hole, but just to say there's serious intent on keeping that door shut. Because once the heart opens and activates, boom, there's your avatar. Boom. There's your power. All the chakras hold capacities and hold technologies, but really the heart, to me, trumps them all. Because without the heart, you're basically, to me, dead. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, they've tried, right, in many ways to shut us down through the centuries. So it's worked to some extent, but like you said, we are at that prime time within our evolution where nothing can stop us now. We are at that ripe age, she's like pregnant and ready to give birth, right? And so we are at that prime time. And, galactically speaking, we are in that photon belt sort of light as well. So it's like, galactically, we are being pushed through that, that portal, if you will, that is ripe for the birthing of all of this to take place. So you're right in saying that. So yeah, it's all coming together. It's all happening at the same time, and we see all of it unfolding within our reality, whether we are conscious of it or not, right?
Well, and I think that's why so much of our heart has been so attacked through this beast system, draconian, reptilian fall from grace and dualization, and then battle of the sexes has all been engineered, as well as this broken-hearted whole, kind of in all the fairy tales. It's kind of in all the music. It's kind of in all the movies. It's just like this, run-on sentence that never shuts the hell up. You're just like, and on goes the heartbreak. And it's like a whoosh-producing freaking harvest fest. And it's just like, so that's why Jesus like walked on water, because he was able to master his emotions and master himself, right? So that he wasn't just a victim all the bloody time.
Yeah,
I was
you're
going
right.
to mention also that like Emotion is part of the heart chakra for sure. When I really go into it, it's more of a harmonizer, or like a neutralizer, transmuter, and we get to experience the like the joy that passeth all understanding, the peace that passeth all understanding. It's like those currents are ever available, you know, they're always present, even if you're moving through a challenge, even if you're moving through a wave of grief. It's like you still feel that bliss wave just beneath that, because of the omniscient awareness of that 0 point, that neutrality, that heart or eye in the center of the storm, essentially, as well. And then for me, it's like that's absolutely the key. It's like this is such a huge initiation, the solar plexus, because of where we're at as a humanity and a planetary consciousness, to develop that. And I was going to mention as well that, like, I feel like healing all of that programming of the brokenhearted and the romantic Hollywood and all of these like more lower energy attachments and like lower desire realm that we're just bombarded with, and you know, it's like we just have self-love and self-compassion and self-forgiveness for all of that along the way, those challenges. But I feel like the reconciliation for me really happened when I was in a state of constant communion with Holy Mother and Holy Father principles in my life. And so that ruby and sapphire codes, and that helped to harmonize those masculine, feminine energies, or to unite them within my own body temple, which allowed for that steady flame rather than the reactionary emotional soup, and just being in that and recycling all those energies all of the time. I think that really helped me. So I feel like when Shekinah Ma mentioned that this is like everything, it's like we mentioned the Merkabah. It's truly the vehicle for which you can travel forward, time travel. You know, you can move through the past and into the future, and be present all at the same time in all of the dimensions. I've lost my train of thought a little bit, but yeah.
No, I think you're on the right track. It's that central focus of that 0 point field, right? And if you imagine the Merkabah, it's like that, that downward facing triangle and the upward facing triangle, right? And that center point is where they spin, right? So one is moving in the right direction and one is moving in the left. And so, that opposite spin brings that center point energy into that 0 point field. You got your train of thought back?
Yeah, when she mentioned Jesus, it's like the Essene tradition talks about, I mean, Jesus spoke about like having being in right relationship and holy communion with the earthly mother and the heavenly father. And so, in the Essene texts and the Gnostic texts, the earthly mother was always mentioned just as equally as heavenly father was. But through religion and dogma, I mean, any mother principle was removed entirely, which fucked up the heart chakra.
Yeah, because that's where the imbalance came in, right? Yeah. Go ahead. No, you're on the right track.
Well, it just made me think of that lower triangle and the upper triangle. And I mean, it's so simple when you think about it. It's like, these principles exist for us for a reason, and ultimately, yes, it's unified source in the end, but we're in a three-dimensional reality on earth in a material body, and God gave us these codes to serve us, to help us grow, learn, evolve, and ascend, essentially. So
and that's been true for my practice too, and for me, it's been that connection to the higher self energy, right? And so when you tune in through meditation, through yoga, you again bring your concentration, your focus into that heart-centered energy, right? And when you do that through meditation, through breath, you open that energy, and so you're welcoming in those higher energies into your heart, right? And once it lands in that heart energy, it then goes into right alignment, if you will, to those lower chakras. And it's like I keep bringing that visual back to that clock, if you will, right? The machinery of the clock, and it's setting itself up into that right gadget, if you will, right? And so all of those alignments take place when you bring in those higher energies and align with your higher self energy. And as you folks know, the higher self is connected to that creator energy. So it's like that string of energies coming and connecting to your heart energy. And then it's correcting all of those inversions that we have unfortunately been imposed with on so many levels, right? And you, like you rightly said, the mother principle has been inverted. It's been propagated as the enemy in so many forms, in so many ways, right? And once that imbalance has set into our hearts, we look at things in a certain way, right? And because of that, society has become a very patriarchal sort of imposition on us, right? And so the feminine and the divine feminine has to, in a way, take a backseat on many levels, and that is not in alignment at all. Because when you think back to when Yeshua and Mary Magdalene were on this earth plane, they were trying to bring in that equality, if you will, between the feminine and the divine masculine. But again, because of the I guess the society within which they landed, their human bodies or their physical body, it was still within the grip of that patriarchal system. And the Romans again inverted everything. They sort of kicked that energy, if you will, of Mary Magdalene and what she represented out of the field, if you will. And they eliminated, her teachings from what was then perceived as the Bible and what was brought into our reality, even to this day, right? You don't hear about the book of Mary Magdalene, or what's it called? The book of love, right? I think it is Shekinah Ma.
Mhm.
You don't hear about that, right?
Mm-mm.
But
Well,
luckily,
that's
like,
Yeshua's own gospel. You'd think that that would be like the most
yeah,
important. I
yeah,
mean, barely in the Bible
exactly.
does Jesus even speak a
She
lot.
was
Like,
so close to him. She was like the first disciple for him, right? So who better to tell his story than, from his partner, from his beloved,
or
right?
even
But no
from
way.
himself. Like, he doesn't even get a represent. It's everybody talking about him. Where did the
Yeah,
brother's
exactly.
gospel go? Yeah,
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
was too
What
powerful. It was too full of love. That
yeah.
was a threat to the establishment, right? Which are basically heartless. Their hearts are black. That brings up the black-hearted, like snake, that poisonous hate virus, which just colors people black, right? Like, not in a racist sense. I mean, in a devoid of light, in vibration, in, like, where the eyes go black and the soul's auric field is black. Like,
Hmm.
I've actually met just a small group of people who've actually got the black aura. And I'll tell you, I go that way. They're
Yeah.
coming this way, I'm going that way, or any other way but that way. Because it's like that person's a walking dead and they're capable of being hijacked like that
Yeah.
by darker forces. So, anyhow, it's just like a gateway. When the heart is shut, you become a gateway for anything to hijack your body,
Hmm.
which is a huge thing I think people don't really understand. Like, the heart is kind of the wheel of the ship. It's like the ship is like guided by this wheel. And so when your wheel is like, and you're taken out as the pilot of your ship or whatever, a captain of your ship, that's when something else steps in and is like, oh, you ain't in charge here? Great. I can use
Yeah.
this body all day.
It's
Well,
like the
and that directly speaks to the health system too, right? It's like that has been completely overshadowed and overtaken in order to control us, right? Because they found that, once you control the physical body, then you control the mind as well, right? And so when you think about the heart chakra or the heart, it leads directly to the lungs, to the chest, to the arms, to the hands, and then it leads to poor circulation, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, lung conditions, heart conditions. So that's pretty extensive, right? When you think about it.
Yeah.
Then you've got the circulatory problems, you've got the breathing problems, and all of that, right? And so all of these sort of explode into the body. And by the time you nail all of these things, the physicians sort of own your ass, so to speak, right? And they
Mhm.
can just take you over and, prescribe whatever, bullshit medicines they think is right for you, right? And so in that way, you're disconnected from your own body, allowing you to heal and to nurture yourself, right? It's taken over by these imposed systems, if you will, that are not there to heal you, but to harm you, right? With their medicines, with their medications, which ultimately is, feeding that larger machine, if you will, that money making, black magic, black money making system, right?
I think
So,
of the clam though, like the shell, like, and inside is the pearl. And I feel like we've been channeling a lot of pearl wisdom, us three, and we've been seeing like that kind of as a code and even as a tool that, like, the pearl is formed from being injured, right? And so that kind of correlates to the heart as being unstruck, or all the other translations. It's really like, even when you break my heart. And I actually knew a young woman who had her heart broken so bad she got a heart attack. She was 36, and like, I didn't even know that existed. There's an actual heart attack, which when your heart breaks that bad, you can die. And that to me is the sort of superficial heart. Like, that's the organ, but without the essence and the spirit of the chakra. So a chakra is just a ganglion of nerves, right? It's an epicenter of energy that's very physical as well as esoteric, if you will. But like, the superficial heart can break and will die. We all know that. But inside that shell of that organ is the pearl, which is your soul, which is your soul spirit body. And that pearl is indestructible. Actually, pearl is one of the most awesome tools to work with. So there is like that whole storyline, which to me is all the fairy tales. Like, talk about all those Hans Christian Andersen or Brothers Grimm. Like, all the fairy tales are really the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell, as we come from, all of us, the hurt, the heartbreak, the abuse, the misuse of our powers against us, all the things that have happened. But our pearl in there has just been coming more and more beautiful. So there's that beauty in the hatred and in the injury that can be salvaged, and really is the great work to be done, right? To become the hero of your own journey, of your own life. From the villains, which, as much as I try to like put this separation of the draconian, they live right inside of me. It's called my hindbrain, my reptilian brain. So I don't know how we're supposed to like pretend like this shit's not inside of us. You're like, I'm beautiful and pure. I don't know what you're talking about. And you're like, oh, there's your reptilian brain. Just fucking piss me off and you'll see real fast what a draconian looks like.
yeah.
So
I love that imagery that you just presented. No, I think that for me at least, the way through it, and yeah, there's no way we can avoid this, right? We have to deal with this situation on some level, right? And for me personally, it has been through gratitude and just working through that Ho'oponopono prayer, right?
yes.
For me, that's been really powerful over the last, I would say, month or so, and I've been practicing it truly from my heart, because I've had to regurgitate, if you will, so many past lives, inner children, all of this stuff, because I know now that I'm not just this one being in this one lifetime, right? I've had many past lives and I've gone through a lot of crap in those past lives. And so this is my lifetime to heal all of that, And so this Ho'oponopono prayer has really, really helped me work through all of that intricacy, if you will, of those dark energies that have, and we carry it within us, whether we like it or not, on a molecular level. And, it comes to us in dream time, or it'll just pop and trigger, when somebody says something, or, when we're not expecting it. So for me, every time something like that happens, it's like you acknowledge it, you forgive it, you send it love, you send it forgiveness, you send it thank you for the lesson, thank you for showing me this path, and just move past it. So for me, that's been a very powerful practice, just moving through it all with that very simple Ho'oponopono prayer of, I'm sorry, forgive me, please forgive me, I love you, thank you, right? So
Yeah.
It's been very,
There's a
very
great
powerful.
song. It's called Truth, right? Alexander Ebert, I believe, is the music writer of the song. But it's like, all my enemies are turning into my teachers. Lights blinding, no way dividing what's yours and mine when everything is shining. And to me, that really encapsulates the essence of the heart, is all my enemies are turning into my teachers, right?
Mm-hmm.
This whole illusion that we've all been under is actually, in some weird, twisted freaking way, a higher evolutionary um, exercise, right? Yoga, talk about doing a yoga create for 31 minutes and feeling like you're gonna bloody die. Your arms over your head forever, and you're just breathing and chanting, and it's all just like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Then you go into shavasana and you're like, yes, I get to die. But the point is you die to be reborn and arise again, right? And it's
Yeah.
like Jacob's ladder. It's the stairway to heaven. You got to keep going up and up and up. And then pop goes the weasel, and we're out of this black cube shit show.
Yeah, no, it's very powerful, right? Meditation and yoga, that's the way of releasing those energies from the body. And when you look at concentration on the heart chakra, it's like all those backward bends that you have to do, right? It's like the bridge pose, it's like the upward facing dog, it's the camel pose, it's the fish pose. It's like you're opening your heart and letting those
Cobra
energies
pose.
out, right? Yeah, the cobra
Yeah.
pose, the bow pro pose, all of those things, right? It's like you're opening your heart and saying, okay, let it all go, let it all go. And so you're opening that energy with the breath, and it's releasing, like Shekinah Grace said, it's like that pumping motion. It's like as you breathe, as you move through those yoga stretches, it just releases all of that energy from your body as well.
Yeah, and you spin faster, and then the next thing you know, as you're spinning faster, shit's just falling away from you.
Yeah.
So you're not angry longer, and you're not sick longer, and you're not stuck in the rut longer. It's just like, it's just like water off the back once you start going up into these higher chakras, and you're like angry for a whole 2 minutes, and then you're like, fuck that, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Moving
No,
on,
it's
right?
very poignant, isn't it? Now, especially as, when you bring that energy into your full focus, it's like you don't stay angry for too long because you've already worked on all of that shit, right? Like you said, it's all past now, it's gone. It doesn't stick anymore.
Well, and you can also see through a con. You're like, oh, you're trying to mess with me because my
Yeah,
heart's telling me right away. It's shutting down. My heart's closing.
yeah.
I'll literally start doing stuff like this where I'm like, all of a sudden, like, you like protect your heart chakra. And there goes the thunder.
I can hear that. Yeah, that's
Woo!
pretty loud.
I'm struck. Boom.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of solutions, ladies, I know you've got the rose quartz with you and the strawberry crystals, so that's very helpful in order to open up your heart and support you during these healing energies. I've also got a recommendation for teas. So I've got rose tea, I've got jasmine tea, hawthorn berry, and cocoa. So those are my recommendations for soothing the heart and just, taking you through those obstructions, if you will, that are within your heart.
Yeah. For me, I think the key is the breath. And, I think of like when we go numb or we have like frozen emotion or frozen heart, it's like the breath, when it comes in and moves out, it helps to thaw out, the emotions, and cultivating the witness, observing your reality and witnessing the emotional body um, allows you to heal aspects of your past and allows the unconscious to come forward into the foreground of your consciousness to be able to witness and do either the Ho'oponopono or just purely witness and send love to those parts of yourself and your life experiences, which does include, a shit show past and probably a dark shadow aspects of our part in this co-creation together. But that's such a key, I think, for remaining in the heart, is to be able to shift from like, or just harmonize, like recognize that like passion comes from, you know, that root, like from the lower three chakras. And it's important to be passionate. I mean, that's like in its purest form, it's just like pure fire, right? It's just like this impulse to love, you know, and to act and to move and to serve. Um, but in its shadow, when the heart's not involved, we can burn the house down. You know, we can burn bridges. We can do all of this stuff. So like, where I feel like when we get into the heart, it's like the compassion. It's like from passion to compassion, and that compassionate witness state of mind, and cultivating that through meditation practices, or just mindfulness and sitting in stillness and solitude, and having a conversation with your own heart, is very, very powerful. And that's what allows you to see into the future timelines, to align yourself with your higher self, with the higher mind that is the heart brain. You know, the heart also has like pericardium, like a shield around it. It's sort of, it has like a fluid that's like the cerebral spinal fluid, pericardial fluid. And that is like the essence, the spiritual essence that comes in, that allows you to communicate with God in that space. And so the breath also creates coherence, so that we're not being only in the mind, cut off from the rest of the body. So it's just, for me, it's just so essential to have the experience of breath as spirit coming in and landing in your heart center. I also wanted to mention that the heart has 4 chambers, you know, and in working with clients, the heart, the physical heart, has shown me that each chamber, one is past, one's present, one's future, and one's void. And so that's an interesting way to look at the heart, as like an inner stargate that allows you to time travel, which is like when the Buddha became enlightened, he witnessed all his lifetimes before he became an enlightened being, or ascended, or turned into the rainbow light body. And so it's like the eye of the heart is just, like we've said, really key. And I feel like, you know, the breath can get us to a place of thawing out what has been either locked up or overprotected out of fear of trauma and pain. And then I would mention in sexual relations, because of our programming, like it's important not to gauge in sexual relations where there isn't like a sincere emotional connection, and where love isn't present, because that will just continue to like put layers, and kind of, it won't allow the heart to fully open or be lubricated. It actually does the opposite. So it actually shuts down the heart further. And so if you're in a partnership or a committed relationship, like work on the other areas of your relationship at the same time. And so establish an emotional connection, acknowledge when your body isn't fully a yes to engaging in intimacy. And there's a reason for that, because the emotional body is muddied. You know, you don't want to make love as a way of like processing your emotions necessarily, or releasing stress, you know, through that act. Because that actually prevents more of a heart chakra opening. In my understanding, other people might have a different experience or understanding of these energetics, but it feels like an emotional bond and love should be present. And if you're not quite there yet, then there's some other conversations, or just other things, like even meditating together, that may help. And then you can utilize the act of sexual intimacy as a way to fully open the heart chakra.
I think that makes total sense, because, you know, it's like, what's the term? I guess the TV and the shows, they promote this promiscuity, if you will, around sexuality. It's like, you know, you think nothing of having like a one night stand or whatever, right? And it's like, of course you have to, you know, stop and think about it, because you're sharing your body with another person. That's so sacred, right? And it's like they sort of bring that layer in, which helps you to disconnect, if you will, from your heart, and say it's okay to have a sexual relationship and just forget about it. But to me, that's a very sacred act, you know. You are investing in it. You are investing with your emotion, with your body, with your mind, right? And that's just my feeling. I know there's a lot of different opinions on that, but to me, that's just that insert, if you will, that, you know, that society offers in a way of bringing that division from the heart, that separation.
From my 19-year-old who, you know, is at this age where, of course, she wants to be with a lover and have, you know, that relationship energy. She says that, like, you know, all these dudes nowadays, they just want to do the one-nighters. They just want to do the hookups, the booty calls, the what have yous. And actually, in her experience in having somebody like that, coming from only having like actual love partner, where, you know, anyway, without getting her history out here, she says they're just like trauma dumps. You come together with this guy and he just trauma dumps you. So he's using you sexually and then just dumps all his trauma and then moves on. And the woman, the female, as a receiver, you're just getting, you're being used as a garbage dump.
Yeah, she's
So I
taking it
just
on.
want people to realize that, because also the men as the giver and the woman as the receiver, right? So, you know, women are going to hold, that's why women hold on longer to the energetics where the dude just moves on, right? But also in that the men are so traumatized that they have disconnected so much that they don't honor the female. They don't have the capacity to even love the female.
Yeah.
Right? And then the world just confuses the shit out of people.
Yeah.
So, you know, now men don't even know what a woman is. So you're like, wow, guys,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So it's a real interesting story.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. I think it's very important because it's so obvious now, right? In the way that, you know, they're promoting sexuality on these reality shows and on TV, and it's right in your face. It's like, you know, there's no depth to any relationship. And like, I think you went on a rant just before the show, Shekinah Ma. I caught the tail end of that, and I think you made a very important point to that. It's like the tortilla has no, what did you call it? You said there's no
Substance.
substance to it. That's right.
There's nothing in there.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
burrito is empty. You just got the tortilla. I was like, at least give
absolutely.
us some cheese. We'll make a quesadilla.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's true, you know, that's how we are being presented with relationships now. It's like, you know, it's a very superficial thing. It's like, you know, you're in, you're out, and that's it, you know. But where is the depth to it? Where is the substance to a relationship? You know,
But you
there's
can't
no.
survive off a tortilla. That's just white flour. It's nothing. You
Yeah,
know, it's like you need the protein, you need the vegetables, you need the substance, or else you're just gonna waste away and become like a walking dead, which is
yeah,
really the whole zombie apocalypse phenomenon.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's just, I call it the siphon or the juice box. It's like somebody sticks a straw into you and then sucks you until your
Yeah,
juice box shrivels into like a inflated, deflated, whatever, deflated, whatever. Anyhow,
yeah.
I
No,
see
I
it in
think you're right.
pictures,
You're
so
right.
I
You're
just
right.
have to
Yeah.
see pictures all the time and to process the pictures I'm being shown, which is just like often hilarious.
Well, speaking of pictures, I have a picture here of, you know, it was going off of what Shekinah Grace shared with us earlier. So hopefully this works. And this might be a segue into your sharing today, Shekinah Grace. And that is the meditation you wanted to share with us. So I think you brought up Hanuman. I don't know if you can see that picture. I thought this was really beautiful.
I I love my connection with Hanuman started I don't know, gosh, 2007 maybe. He came
Okay.
full force into my field of awareness. And yeah, so you know, my devotion to prana is like an actual god, even like or not god, but like just an entity. I mean, it's reverence for life. I mean, you know, to have this level of devotion which Hanuman represents, and that's why I feel like the breath is so key, because Hanuman represents unconditional devotion, unconditional love, and it's to the Holy Mother and the Holy Father principle, right? If we're just looking at it symbolically. Although, you know, Shekinah Ma is mentioned many times, and I also tend to feel the same way. 100% is that these mythologies are I think they actually happened.
Yeah.
But we're using these archetypes now to learn, you know, what they represent to us now. And Hanuman was born of the wind god. I think his mother was a goddess of the wind or something. I can't quite remember, but there's a wind connection there. He was born from wind. And when I think of the breath, it's like the breath comes in whether we are conscious of it or not. The unconditionality of life. Life is unconditionally serving our body and our human experience. And if every cell in our body is God eternal within the body, that's a Greg Braden quote. If every cell is God, every atom and every molecule spinning has this spark. You know, it's like the breath is that that utter devotion and service to God in the body. And because the lungs, as I said, you know, hug the heart, it's like, you know, the two of you know, the lungs represent our masculine and feminine side. It makes me think of Shekinah Ma's exercise, where we integrate the both right and left side of our body in a state of holy communion with God inside the heart. Then it becomes to become one in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so in honor of, you know, Hanuman's connection and how he's depicted as being like, his heart's just wide open, and he's like, I love God, and I love, you know, Rama, which is like Ra, Ma, you know, masculine, feminine, father, mother, yeah, divinity. And he's just like way out there with it, and utterly in devotion to that heart chakra, you know, resting in that temple space. I wanted to share the 5 movements of prana throughout the body, because he also represents the 5 elements and the 5 wisdom winds. And because the heart chakra is connected with air element, I thought I would share that today. Tara,
Yeah.
Tara also comes to mind. She's represented by star, so like that 5 energy as well. And 5D Tara, I think, is like, you know, future Earth, like that 5th dimensional Earth frequency, which is also connected to heart chakra. And I feel like Tara and Hanuman, on some level, they're somewhat related. It's a deep meditation. But if everyone listening wants to, you can either close your eyes and just take a couple of deep breaths, connecting in with the breath. And I invite you to really feel it, like you're making love to the breath. And maybe creating that heart-brain coherence, where you're breathing in for 4 seconds and exhaling for 6, or whatever breath count you like, just creating coherence between the heart and the mind. For a few cycles of breath, breathing in for 4 and exhaling for 6, landing in the heart. Feeling the breath fill the front, sides, and back of your heart, expanding your heart chakra. And then rest with your palms facing up on your lap. And just slowly bring your palms up with the movement of the upward moving force. And then turn the palms down and just slowly move down, representing the downward moving force. So inhaling pranavayu as you rise up, and exhaling apana vayu, the downward rooting force, as you move down. Breathing in and out. feeling the energy in your palms, the palms of your hands, as well as your fingers glide through the space. And then you can inhale, open the palms out to the side, representing Vijnana Vayu, opening wide in all directions. And then exhaling, drawing the palms in towards your center. So inhaling out, expanding, and exhaling, drawing inward, contracting or drawing in. And just feeling that movement with the breath. The outward moving or expanding energy and the inward drawing energy. Okay? And then the final movement is the up and out prana, which can be expressed through the voice and our expression. So I'm just going to chant these one time. You can do the movements with me. If you know the chant, join in or just receive the resonance and the transmission. So exhaling. So I'll chant one time with the invocation of the uppercase P prana, the ultimate life force that encompasses all. Om prana pranaya namo namaha. Arms lift up. Om prana pranaya namo namaha. Palms move down. Om apana panaya namo namaha. Arms out wide. Om Vijnana Vijnanaya namo namaha. Drawing in. Om Samana Samanaya namo namaha. And then up and out. Om Udana Udanaya namo namaha. Thank you for letting me share that. You're on mute, Raquel.
Oh, thank you so much, Shekinah Grace. That was beautiful.
My pleasure.
Well, ladies, I think we are at that mark where we need to wind down. But before we go, I just wanted to bring forward our upcoming event. And I think we've sort of laced our show with this information as we've been talking. So on the 22nd, I believe, 22nd of August, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Is our next gridwork mission. And so we're going to be focusing on the energy of water. And so as we have done in the past, we'll be doing it at 5:55 p.m. Where we go live. And the 22nd actually falls on an auspicious day, and it's related to Mary Magdalene. So that aligns perfectly with the Divine Mother energies that we've been bringing in throughout this month. And prior to that, and as those Divine Mother energies get channeled into the field, we are hoping to heal all of these energies that are asking us to bring forth that healing. And we've nailed a few of those locations for our gridwork mission. One of them is the Fuji Mountains in Japan, and then we talked about Uluru in Australia. We wanted to also bring in the Sahara Desert in Saudi Arabia. South Africa has been calling to us, as well as the Adam's Calendar location. And also related to Adam is the Sri Lanka Adam's Foot, I think it's called, and India. So these are the locations we have nailed so far. But as you folks know, this can expand and become a live transmission on the day of. So that is a moving target at the moment. So we'll just keep the field open and see what else comes to us leading up to that day of the actual mission. And so, yeah, we are going to be working on all of these energies as they relate to the blood, to the water, to the plasma, to the ether, coming into our bodies, coming into the Mother Earth, and channeling that in energy and just cleansing all of it with all of our tools And as Shekinah Ma has brought in today those beautiful crystals and any other beautiful voices and prayers and music and song that you wish to bring in, light language, your own remote viewing, we would really appreciate it if you can join us for this event. So I'll put a link in the chat so you can sign up for this event. We'd really appreciate it. Any closing remarks, ladies? Anything you'd like to add to what I've just said?
Also, the new moon on the 23rd. So it's going to be the new moon in Leo on the 23rd. So just we're in that new moon vibration as we do the waterworks. And so just keeping in this mindfulness as we're moving from this day, say, we're moving right into the Lion's Gate. There's epic, we probably won't have a clear sky given the thunderstorm, the epic storm happening right now. I had to check because I'm just checking for fires in the area, and there has been a number of fires ignited in the storm here. So, but we're moving right into the Lion's Gate, eh? And also this like amazing Perseid meteor shower. So there's all sorts of stuff going on upstairs, as I like to call it, and then all over the earth, of course. So this is a really powerful time. The August 9th is the full moon. So that's just the day after the peaking of the Lion's Gate on 8/8. I did sign up for Indigo Angels Grid Sesh on Israel. And that woman, I forget her first name, Labaine, that she did an interview with, which was awesome. She's actually going to probably be on the grid session. So that's going to be amazeballs. So yeah, just a long shout out to everybody who will listen. Please get involved in grid working. Please step into the role of stewardship. And please help lift up and bring peace to this planet in all ways possible. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Shekinah Grace, any closing remarks?
No, I'm so grateful that this one for the water is happening. It's been on my heart for a long time. So I'm kind of just in the icosahedron geometry right now. So I'm a little bit in another land. I'm kind of swirling around inside of an icosahedron. So,
no big deal.
but no, yeah, it's gonna be it's just gonna be amazing. Yeah, Shekinah Ma said it all. Please join. And Shekinah Ma, both of you, but Shekinah Ma has made a couple of really great videos explaining why grid work is important, why it's powerful, why it's empowerment, not only for taking responsibility for stewardship of this beautiful, incredible, heavenly paradise of a planet that we all love, to the point where I get tears in my eyes just speaking right in this moment with all my heart, you know. And so it's like, as without so within, as within so without. We say that every week. So it's such a beautiful way to do your self-healing work, and especially in community. You know, we're on the heart chakra now, so let's bring in the community codes, because I think we've touched on this too, but like, your healing, it gets accelerated when you have the mirror and the resonance and the key codes of other individuals activating you. And especially when they're in such devotion to their path, and when they are following their heart's compass, you know. And when and where we're not, I mean, we're transparent and honest in our journey about what's going on for us. And I think that's also heart frequency. It's like, as Dan Winter says, like, be a shareable wave. And so your mental realm and your expression, what you speak and what you think, should be same. And if they're not, there's some adjustments, there's some cleaning to do, and just like honesty to practice, to become in that heart frequency all the time, you know. And then we create from a place of coherence rather than more miscreations that we have to go and correct later. So
Precisely.
Absolutely. Love it, love it, love it. Hence, I'm surrounded by Shekinahs, as you ladies can see. That beautiful goddess energy is surrounding me now. I have no escape. I have no escape.
Well, that's
But
just
I
what
love
you
it.
can see, let alone what you don't see. We
Yeah,
see
I love it.
0.0032%, something like that, of the visible light spectrum. So we see like
Yeah.
not even half of 1% of the visible light spectrum.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love it. The synchronicities, as you say, are just out of this world, with the three of us working together. So it so resonates with the kind of work that we're doing. And like you said, we're building up, and it's like a parallel that's happening, the work that we do, that we're seeing within our reality from other light workers, from other star seeds, from grid workers. It's like we're all coming together, and it's like this giant wave is happening, and we see it all over. So
Well, I've been seeing us as ships, like we're operating our own little fleet, and then Indy's got her fleet, and Noko's got her fleet, and everybody's got their fleet. G's got her fleet.
yeah,
But imagine them all over the planet, because there's so many different now stewards rising
yeah,
up into grid work and into all of this
absolutely.
healing. And I mean, it's just super exciting. You're like, I'll see you in the sky.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
No,
we'll
I,
be
I
flying
love it.
over
I love it
Israel.
when we're all speaking the same language, right? And I just love it. I laugh sometimes, when I get messages from the two of you. It's like I'll be doing something and you both are sending me messages of exactly what it is I'm doing or working on. And it's just so incredible, It's just we're all so
And
aligned.
we've
So it's
never even
beautiful.
met, none of us.
Yeah,
Physically, I
yeah,
should say, in this
yeah.
life.
Yeah. So thank you, ladies, for being here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you next week, but do sign up for the event coming up on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Much blessings. Have a good evening.
Aloha.
Namaste.
Hey. Mhm.